there wasn't pain, it wouldn't be worth it. Da, 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 da. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness with David McDonald, the GOAT. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. For all my football fans out there, happy football Sunday. Okay, here we are. What's going on with this? Good morning. Good morning. Alrighty. Man, yesterday was a rock star day. I got a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about too much. But I do have some pretty good takeaways. So we'll get into that a little later. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and morning, Lee. Morning, Liz. Good morning. Good morning. First, we're going to get into this meditation. So let's make this happen. 20, 35, 50. All right. Let's do it. Uh-oh. No music. All right. I'll wait for that to play. Let's jump on it. All right. I'll see you guys on the other side. 15. Alrighty, welcome back. That was a quiet meditation. I didn't have any music on. It's all good though. So usually during the meditation process, I like to just think about how my day went yesterday or the day before, like what's really going through my mind, and what are these thoughts that I'm holding for myself, and what are these thoughts I'm holding for other people. And mentally, I just, Eric, good morning, bro. What's up, man? Top of the morning to you. And so I just, when I'm going through these series of meditations, I really just focus in on what I'm thinking. And then I create my reality for myself, like how my day is going to be today. But it's just really a good space to kind of clear your head. Alrighty, so now we're getting into our reading segment. 15 minutes of greatness. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Excuse me. Hmm. 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 There you go. Wow. All right. This is a good example. Okay. So if you were ever curious about how to measure your success or measure if you're on track to hit goals that you set out for yourself, discipline number 2 of execution is identifying your lead and lag measures. And we've talked about this before. Discipline number 1 specifically is focusing on 1 or 2 goals and not being overwhelmed by they call them wildly important goals, WIGs or WIGs. So real quick, well, we're getting ready to get into our journaling exercise, but real quick. So there was a water company. So a lag measure to start is a goal that you want to get to. And I know we've talked about this before, right? A lag measure is saying, okay, well, I want to be the best real estate agent of all time. Let's say, for example. But then the lead measure is the activities that I'm doing essentially to get to that lag time. So to get to that lag goal. So if I'm making, if I want to say I want to close 30 deals a year, I have to make 25 calls, and I haven't 25 calls a day. Let's say, for example, or make 25 contacts. And let's say I get to halfway through the year and I'm not even, and I have let's say 5 closings, for example. Well, then I know I got to boost those touches up every single day. And so my lead measure changes so that my lag, which is my outcome of, helping 30 families buy and sell homes, it can be achieved. And so you measure everything along that spectrum, right? So a really super easy, definite example that they use, there was a water company that wanted to increase their business production from 175 million liters to 185 million liters by December 31st. The going formula of when you're creating these lead measures and these lag measures, when you're tracking your goals, is you want to say what the goal is, and then you want to add the time, like the time frame of when you want to reach it. But it's important that you define your lead measures and your lag measures, your long-term, your goal, and then the things you're going to do to get to that goal specifically. So they wanted to increase 175 million to 185 million by December 31st. And so one of the first executives was pretty much saying, they said, okay, what do you think we should do? So the executive was like, we should increase, we should aim to increase our monthly sales. So then, the authors, the authors were talking to, this executive, and they were like, well, not really, because if you increase the monthly sales, that you're just adding another lag goal to yourself. There's you increasing monthly sales it's an unpredictable thing. There's nothing you can control about that. So your lag, it just goes from 31st, which is a year, all the way down to a monthly goal, right? So they kept going, and they said, okay, well, I got it. And then they said, one of the executives said, he said, let me see here. We have to increase we have to increase our crews for we have to increase the number of times we have a full crew. So they said they identified that they didn't have a full crew, like almost I think, what was it, 75% of the time, 80% of the time they had full crews. So they said, we're gonna bump it up to 95%. All of our shifts will be full crews. And then they said the machines had too much downtime. So they wanted to have the machines obviously running, for longer hours. And then, of course, when they changed that lead measure of increasing the amount of full crews that were working at one time, and the consistency of how the machines were working or always, running, then they were able to increase their production. So food for thought when you're thinking about making goals for yourself. You just want to make sure that you're following. You just want to make sure that you're following the rules of identifying, why there is not production. Why are you not doing the things that you're doing? Or the things that you feel like you want to do that you're not doing, right? And then once you identify what those things are, you can create lead measures. You create a goal for yourself, and then you create lead measures in order to get you there, right? I want to be more self-educated. I want to be more educated, right? What am I going to do to get there? I'm going to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and I'm going to read, meditate, work out, and journal. And then by the time a year comes, I look back and I say, how many books have I read? How many journals have I kept? Where has my growth been? How have I grown? Do I feel more educated? Am I more educated? Do I know more, stuff I wouldn't have known if I hadn't read? So, or went through this process, right? And the answer will be yes. So, all right, our journaling exercise. This is actually perfect for timing. I only have one page left, and then this journal can go into the library, the completed library of execution. So journaling. I'll see you guys on the other side. Mm. Alrighty. This is crazy. Yeah, we finished one book of journaling. What an amazing feeling. Man, like when they write our story, for everybody out there, when they write our story, they're gonna use these. It's pretty cool actually. They're gonna use our journals. They're gonna use, like it's crazy, man. This is such a beautiful thing. I'm crazy. I'm just going crazy over this stuff. I was talking with my uncles yesterday, and he's usually really, really good at giving, like, the reason why I like talking to people, and I've said this multiple times, and even like people who are a little bit older, is they cram years and years of experience into one conversation, and they say, here you go. Feast, so you save 10, 15, 20, 30 years of learning, just from them, again, putting in their hand, cramming everything together and saying, here you go, with the red bow on it. You just open up the gift, and then you absorb everything that you can as a sponge. You be inspired by them, and then you become better. And yesterday he said a lot of stuff, but we're not gonna get into it too much. But he said, one thing you always have to remember, which is huge, he said, is never compare yourself to anyone. And he said, a lot of people, he's a pretty successful guy, actually. He's really successful. He came here with just a shirt and his head, He didn't have any education, or formal school education, and he pretty much built a business. He learned the trade. He focused at the trade, discipline number one. He scaled his business, and now his business is making like $6 million a year plus, and he's only growing, getting bigger. And so he said, we were talking, he was just kind of going on this, like, he was going down this road, and he was just like, people always want success. They always want stuff right now. He said, but the thing about it is, he's like, when you're looking up at that person who's successful, who drives the nice car, who has the big house, who, has this, whatever it is, right? Material success. He said, you said, oh, I want to be like that guy and I want to do it now. But you're not considering the years of experience, the years of building the foundation that person had to go through, whether it's realized or not, right? The years that person built layer to layer to layer to layer, where they're like 40, 50 years old potentially, or, whatever age. But you're comparing yourself to someone who has taken the time to actually, like, sharpen themselves, more likely than not, more oftentimes than not, sharpen themselves and become the experts, so that they're able to generate that type of revenue, so they can live the dreams that they show off to the world. So he was like, patience and take time. This is the same uncle who said that you want to make sure that your house is stable, your house is good, your family is taken care of. And for everyone who wasn't there for that discussion, he was essentially saying, that you don't. He's so tight. He's so tight. He said, you don't. He's like, when money mentally becomes a non-issue for you, you've won the battle. Which is huge. like we were talking about a couple weeks ago. If you think $1 million is a lot of money, there's a strong likelihood that you may not ever have $1 million to just, do what you need to do with it, right? But if you feel like oh, a million is nothing, like, and you really truly like, no, I'm worth $10,000 an hour plus, $20,000 an hour plus, like $1 million. That's, in a month we can easily generate that if we, have $100,000 days. So my point is he was like, the day that you stop, the day that you disconnect yourself and money becomes not important, like you don't care about it, but that the way that you perceive and receive money is from a place that's so highly on a level of abundance that it doesn't feel like a lot. Blah blah blah. Pause. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. But when we get to that point where, when we receive money, we're happy, we're excited, but because we know our self-worth, we're like, okay, like, there's more to come, let's continue moving. And he said, you don't want to go through life wearing a backpack where, essentially you have all of your work in your backpack and you're wearing this backpack and it's super heavy, like he was like, if I only have to pay $1,000 and I have a house and my family is good, $1,000 in bills a month, then I'm good. He's like, I don't need to buy a really big house. Like, I'll put 100 grand into my house or 50 grand into my house. He's like, and then my friends will come over and say, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Right. And then he's like, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because, like, why am I going to go out and buy a multi-million-dollar house? Because I don't want that right now. I want my space. I want what I'm doing. And if I have a $5,000 mortgage, he's saying, for example, he's like, then I got my backpack back on, and I'm working and I'm getting through this, through these days. And it's like, he's like, so what you want to do when he says take care of family or make sure your house is good is, slam money down your mortgages, slam money down your bills so that you are not working to survive. You're working for the joy of working, and you're able to essentially, earn the things that earn the money that you want to earn, and you get to see it, to do the things. He's like, live your life, do the things that you want to do. And I was like, man, I let that woman serenade for a little while because I was just like, that's so true. But it gets hard sometimes because we get so excited about stuff. Well, can't speak for you guys, but for me, I get so excited about stuff. If I feel like I could do something, oh, please believe, full steam ahead. That's going to happen. But sometimes, that could be a blinding factor too. You don't really think. You think about everything all the way through, but then, you're like, oh, shoot, maybe I could have done this or maybe I could have done that. But there's a reason why we go through these things. And so even if we make a decision that kind of goes away from our new natural nature, which is something like, make sure home is good first, let me take care of this mortgage instead of, okay, let me go buy 10 houses, making sure that you're not overextending yourself so that you're not, like I said, you're not working to live, you get to just you own you know what I'm saying? You have the independence to do the things that you want to do because you're not overextended, and that's a huge one. And it really resonates with me this year, tremendously, because we made some pretty big power moves. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, now that the earthquake has happened, it's like, okay, everything is settled. And now it's like, okay, now we're playing chess again. So all the pieces on the board are moving. And so now it's just about, recalculating and recalibrating the way that the pieces are getting moved. And it's so beautiful because we have all the control. And anyway, so yeah, that was my learning lesson for yesterday. And it was just I really appreciate it, man. So many of my conversations and my learning points this last week and a half have all come from interaction and communication with and listening from other people. So I highly encourage, if you guys want to come hang out with me and some of my friends, we're more than welcome to have you. You guys can come hang out. We would love to, talk and hang and chill and, just grow. But if you have friends that you like to hang out with, man, have some meaningful conversations. I hope everybody has a good Sunday today. Thank you for joining me today on the Journey to Greatness. Day 70. We have 20 days left, and we'll be in this thing 3 months. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're watching some football today, enjoy that. Continue to read. Right now, it's your responsibility or your dedication as to whether you want to work out. I highly encourage it. I am going to do the yoga thing. I'm making excuses, quite frankly. I just need to execute on it. And I haven't done it yet. So just allow me some time to just, meld over. And within the next couple of days, we could start like 15 minutes of yoga. A little bit of discussion at the end of our journaling, but then we could do like maybe 10 minutes of yoga, let's say. And then it'll just be like a good, like guided exercise that we can all participate in together. So if you have any suggestions, I'm always open for that. Like the Facebook page, The Journey to Greatness. That would be awesome. And then YouTube channel is up like we promised. And we have one video up. It's eating the heck out of the memory on my computer. There's like 70 videos at like 10 gigabytes a piece. Copied twice. So I got to go buy an external. So once I get all that stuff organized, then everything will be there for revisiting the material that we go over and other practices or certain days that you liked. So yeah, I love you guys. Happy Sunday. Have a great day today, and I'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Peace.